So we'll do similar things to what we did last Thursday. Once again, movement is 10%. 30% is where's your mind activity? Are you here? Are you present? Are you paying attention to your body? And 60% is the state. Are we calm, relaxed, and natural? So let's begin just with tapping our kidneys. And to initiate that movement, let's just practice. You almost like snap your hips from side to side, and then just let your arms go. And you may notice that if you initiate that movement from the hips, if you relax your shoulders and relax your arms, they just flop around. They'll actually follow the body around because the hips are initiating that movement. So see if you can bring your back hand where it touches the kidneys, just gently and softly. You just want to tap them. In traditional Chinese medicine, the kidneys store the essence, or basically the substance which provides for our life. They're super fundamental. And so just tapping on those gently helps wake those up. From a Western perspective, the adrenal glands sit right on top of the kidneys and secrete at least a couple of important hormones. And so we're kind of waking those up. The adrenals, the kidneys, both Eastern and Western. In the front hand, see if you can bring that to the side of the ribs. If you can't, that's fine, that's fine. Put the side of the ribs and just gently tap that. That's another area that in traditional Chinese medicine, in TCM, acupuncture, and acupressure, there's a point there, a meeting point called the Sea of Qi. So anyway, we'll hit those 2 points, important points, the kidney and then the Sea of Qi along the side of our rib cage. And then we'll just slowly do it less and less and less until we kind of just wind down into stillness. And then just notice your body, maybe a little tingling here and there. If not, that's okay. So let's do ragdoll, both high and low. And the reason I say that, bring your arms grabbing opposite elbows. So kind of ragdoll arms, this time high though. So the first thing, we'll build this almost like stacking, but the first thing is bring a bicep closer to your ear. In other words, the elbow to the midline. And then the rib cage over. So just the rib cage. And if it still feels okay, then you can add the hips over. Moving really slow. Then come back to center. Reset a little bit. Then the other bicep to the ear. Elbow to the midline. Then the ribs. Then if you want to, the hips to the side. It's not bending forward or backward. We'll do that in a minute. And then reset, come back to center. Just moving really slow. And notice the stacking that we do. First we move our arms and shoulders. And then the side body. And then the hips. It's tempting to want to jump ahead. And then come back to center. This will be the last side. It's tempting to want to jump ahead. I just caught myself doing that. To want to move the side body and the hips before you get those arms and shoulders. And then come back to center, and then we'll slowly release, relax, fall forward. This is our first forward bend, so we're going to go super slow and super gentle. Bend your knees a lot. A lot. And just relax. See if you can bring your chest close to the top of the thighs and just relax. You can switch the grip on your hands, grabbing the opposite elbow the other way, if you will. And then if it feels okay, just slowly move towards straightening your legs and then relax back down, bend your knees a lot. Just alternate between slightly bending, feeling that tension behind the thighs and the hamstrings. And then relax back. Just slowly alternate between doing that. Creating a little bit of creating tension and then relaxing back. And we're just teaching, signaling to those muscles that it's okay. you can release, you can relax. Now release your hands and bring your hands to the back of your knees, that soft part of the knees, and just gently give yourself kind of a little massage of the back part of your knees, that soft area. And then bring your awareness to your lower back and just think of softening. Just bring your mind activity to your lower back, and while you give yourself just a nice soft little massage behind the knees, bring softness to your lower back. That point is along the bladder channel, actually, which is associated with the kidneys, but it's a key point for releasing and relaxing tension in the lower back. So if you ever have back pain, just give it a try. And then we'll slowly release that. And we'll slowly come up. But when we come up, we're going to tuck our tailbone. So really tuck the tailbone underneath. So as we come up, let your arms hang heavy. We'll tuck the tailbone, and we'll slowly straighten the lower spine, the lumbar, and the mid-back, the thoracic, and the upper back, top part of the thoracic. Then the head and the neck, and your gaze will be back to the horizon, and just relax. Next we'll do lifting the sky. So for this we want to have our palms down, fingers facing each other, and really feel like you're pushing down. See if you can bring the distance between the elbows closer together. At the same time, we're maintaining that extension of the wrists. And then as we go up, push out. So your arms are making an arc, hands are making an arc. Lift your shoulders. You want to kind of hunch your shoulders as you go up. And when you get up to the top, you're lifting the sky. Really reach up, push up, and then relax. Bend your knees a lot. Just come back down to the ground, just like a balloon, losing its air, just ever so slow. We'll do it again. Fingers face each other, palms out. Push out as you lift your arms and lift your shoulders. Lift your shoulders up. And when you get at the top, push up, press up, and then release. Bending your knees, just floating back down to the ground. Do it one more time. Lift up, pushing out as well as going up. Lift the shoulders. And then lift up. Now push up, press up, and then release. Just relax, just like you're floating back down to the ground. Next we'll do owl looks back. So for here, we're going to actually bend our knees, palms face the body. And then as we turn and rotate, palms face out, fingertips down, splayed down, fingertips wide. Lift your chest, look back, lift up. And then we'll come back to center. Turn your palms to where they face the body, bend your knees, and we'll reset. And we'll do the other side. Turn your palms out, fingers down, lift your chest, look back, lift up, and then come back to center, bend your knees, we'll reset, palms facing the body. Other side, look back, lift up, expand, and then we'll reset back to center, palms face the body. So almost like you're not springing, but definitely moving towards lifting and changing from maybe a guarded towards the body to when you look back, lift up, look back. The fingertips are down and you're looking back. So last side, reset, fingertips down, look back, lift up, and then reset. And just relax. Next, let's wash windows. So step wider than shoulder width. Maybe not quite as wide as horse stance or horse stance. We're going to take our hands, we're going to pretend that we're streaking across a window. So we're going to reach to the side, hands flat, just like you're streaking across the window. And when you get to the side, We're going to rotate to where our palms are facing up, because now we have to wash the underneath of an arch and come back to the other side. Now wash flat across the pane of the window. Turn your palms, because now we have to streak underneath that arch, back over to the other side. Did one more in this direction, so streak across that window. Keep your hands just imagining flat along the window, and then turn and wash underneath the arch of that window. And we'll reset and go in the other direction. So now streak across the window, hands against that flat imaginary pane. Turn to where the palms face upward, opening that shoulder. Wash the underneath of that arch. And then streak across. See if you can splay your fingers out, opening out. Covering most of that underneath that you can with your hands. One more, streak across. And then turn underneath. And then relax. We'll come back to center. Bring your feet back to shoulder width. We'll take our arms in 3 directions now. So let's bring your hands to this kind of a group, or something like that. Because the main thing is we want that thumb that's facing our body just below our sternum, just below our breastbone, as a placeholder. Because we're just going to turn to the side. Bend your knees, soften, calm down. So imagine that there's a pole running from the top of your head, the crown of your head, to between your feet, and you're just rotating along that pole. In Qigong, it's actually called the Taiji pole. Taiji. We're just rotating along that. So notice that you really soften down, bending the knees. And come back to center. You don't really straighten the knees, but you reset. So the arms are in line with the collarbone. There's no movement. That thumb is there just as a placeholder, just gently touching below the sternum, below the breastbone. Just to remind you that we're not moving the upper body. This is all the lower body. Just slowly turning and twisting. You can feel that almost to the tip of your toes, through your ankles, your knees, certainly through the hips. Just relaxing down. Do one more. Last side. And then reset. So we'll lift our hands up now, up to our crown chakra, and then arms forward, big circle, down to our root chakra. And then we'll bring our hands up along the midline to our third eye. And then out, back down to the area of our sacral chakra, just below the navel. And then up, maybe to the chin or the throat chakra, and then down to above the navel, solar plexus, up the midline to the heart, and maybe out, just a nice little circle for the heart. Hands back to the heart. Now we'll move in circles around the heart. So again, the collarbones and the forearms stay in line. We've done the twist already of the lower body, so now the lower body is quiet. Now it's just all about the upper arms, the upper shoulders. Moving in bigger circles, still around the heart, just circling the heart. Each time a little bigger circle. You end up on the side of the side body, down around the navel, and the other side body, collarbones. And then from that big circle, we'll reverse directions and now make smaller circles as we come back to the heart. Again, collarbones are in line with the forearms, no twist. Just a big rotary motion around your heart. Smaller circles now, making smaller and smaller circles. You guys are doing good. And then back to heart center. And just relax, release your arms. We'll reset. First we'll rotate our shoulders, then our hips, and we'll put it together. So, maybe stand a little bit wider than shoulder width, just to develop a really good base. So I'm going to point my fingers forward. Then I'm going to the left, so this is like you're in a mirror. I'm going to the left. I'm dropping my left elbow, lifting my right shoulder as my fingers point left. Now my fingers face towards the body. And now to the right. Well, those fingers are just making a circle around. And then back forward. And go around again. Fingers face the side. Joints are popping and cracking. That's okay. That's just air moving around in the joints. Making room. All this slow joint activity. Okay, as we get back to center, let's relax. We'll reset, so fingertips up. And then rotate forward. Fingers face forward. I'm going to go the opposite direction now. So fingers face the side. And then towards the body. And then to the side. Towards the body, moving really slow, just noticing, wow, the shoulders, the side body, maybe the wrists. I don't know, everybody's different, everybody's different. Come around. As we get back towards the front, we'll relax and just come back into neutral, hands at prayer, heart center. Let's release our hands to our hip creases. We'll just do the hips now. So we'll take the hips around and imagine that your tailbone is a pointer, and a pointer we're going to move around the clock face. So I'm going to point my tailbone. So tuck my hips, point my tailbone to 12, and just come around the clock face. Qigong, you go left first, so I'm going left, so I went to 9, and then 6, and 3, back to 12. Just drawing a circle on the ground with that tailbone. And again, my neck and head, I'm trying to keep in that Tai Chi pole. So it's just my hips that are coming around in a circle. And then we'll go the opposite direction. This time I'm moving to the right, so I'm going 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock to 9, 12. Just relaxing. Relax the hips, relax the knees. And then when we get back to 12, reset, neutral. Now we'll put it together. And again, it's kind of a mind activity, it's kind of a brain activity. That's okay. That's okay. As long as you're moving your body, as long as you feel good, that's the most important thing. So now the hands and the hips are going to point in the same direction. So as I point my fingers forward, my tailbone's pointing to 12. I'm going to the left, so my fingers face 9 o'clock, my hips face 9 o'clock. Now back to 6, fingers face the body, tailbone back. Now 3, then back to 12. Then around to 9, back to 6, to 3, to 12. When we get to 12, we'll reset. Bring the fingertips up, hips to neutral, or tailbone to neutral. Go the other direction. So fingers forward to 12. Coming around. Fingertips facing right to 3. Hips go to 3. Then 6. And then 9. 12. And you may notice a difference going one direction and the other. It seems easier in one direction, more natural in one direction. That's okay. You may have a different range of motion going in a different direction, which shouldn't be, right? But it is. And then back to 12. And then relax. Slowly come up. Release, relax your arms along the side. If your feet are not shoulder width, bring them to shoulder width. And let's just relax. Just relax the whole body. And we'll do a little yoga. So come to the top of your mat and we'll set up to just do pyramid and triangle. And just move gently. So bring your arms up into an upward salute. And then while in that upward salute, ground in your left foot, step your right foot back. We'll come in to where we're in a pyramid, but we'll bring our hands to our hips. And then, remember those tiger claws, tiger claws. Bring those claws as far back, and we're going to reach forward, as far forward as we can. Reach forward, and then drop your claws. We're going to come around in a big circle, just dropping our claws, continuing claws behind our back, up and back. And if it's comfortable, you can drop your head. Now turn your claws, and we're going to swoop our claws down. Going really slow, just noticing that movement. Swoop the claws down, and as we swoop, come forward. And then up. Relax your hands and just bring that energy down. Maybe to settle. And we'll relax. Now let's set up for triangle. In pyramid, we orient our hips to the front. In triangle, we're going to reset our hips, not to the side of the mat, but at least not to the front of the mat. Bring your right hand to your sacrum. Left hand, just maybe under your left thigh. We'll alternate straightening and bending that front hip. At the same time, the back hip pushes back. And then just slowly working your hand down. Right hand still on the sacrum. Still opening up that upper body. But just shift forward and backward, bending and straightening that knee. Hip going forward, the back hip going forward and backward. Until it feels like that's enough. You're not collapsed, there's obviously no pain, no discomfort. Just a slight, my body feels different and open. You can bring your hand up, now you're in triangle, your top hand, your right hand up. Now we're going to swoop while we're in triangle. So look down, and we're going to take and cartwheel our arms. Our right hand scooping down, our left hand coming up and back and behind our kidneys. And then scooping up really slow, using those tiny little core muscles. And we're going to reach back, look back to your left, like a reverse warrior, looking back with a twist. Now we'll unwind. And we'll put back what we took apart. So swoop down, hand comes off the kidney, left hand back to close to where you had it in triangle. Right hand first to your sacrum, to Open that upper body. And then up. Now soften your front knee, bend your front knee. Slowly come up. And we finished that portion. So now we'll pivot our back foot. Get ready and step forward. Bring your arms up into an upward salute and then slowly sink into chair. So chair pose. Now notice that we're kind of tailbone back in chair pose. In other words, like cow. Imagine the cow on the mat. So now let's switch. Tuck your tailbone. Turn your palms out. So you're basically a cat. Now back to cow. Regular old chair pose. Then tuck your tailbone, palms out, cat. One more time. Cow, your regular chair pose. Tailbone back. Now tuck your tailbone, round your back, and do cat. Now slowly come up to an upward salute. And then release. Relax your arms at your sides. Just relax for just a minute. And we'll do the other side. So lift your arms up in an upward salute. Grounding in your right foot. Step back with the left. Bring your hands to your hip creases. Set up for pyramid. Hips facing the front part of the mat. Bring your tiger claws up. Ready to pounce. And then reach forward. Reaching forward as far as you can before you swoop down. And scratch towards the ground. Keep the hands going. Back. Behind the back. Soften the head. Relax if that's available. Now reverse your claws. We're going to swoop down. Moving slow, really slow. Using those tiny little muscles in our feet, our legs, that stabilize us. Now lift up. You can get to the top, soften your hands, and slowly bring that energy down. Set up for triangle, so pivot your hips, pivot your back foot, your left foot. Bring your left hand to your sacrum. Right hand is slowly working its way down as you alternate between bending that front knee and straightening. The back hip, going forward and backward. Just work your way down, slowly, slowly. Just enjoying those little micro movements that come with shifting and moving. Those little postural movements. So now when you've reached the point where you're comfortable, you can lift your left hand up for triangle. Now we're going to turn and twist on that. So bring your gaze down to the mat. Release your right hand. And we'll cartwheel. Left hand down, scooping. Right hand coming back behind our kidney. Scooping up. Moving really slow. Once again, those little muscles, feet and legs, firing, making adjustments. And then turn, look back, look to the right, back bend in a twist. And then we'll come out of that. We'll cartwheel back into triangle. Moving slow. Everything slow. Right hand back to the sacrum. Then up, or left hand to the sacrum, then up. And then slowly bend the front knee. Come up. Relax. Step forward. Do a little more cat and cow chair. So arms up in an upward salute. Sink into your chair. Tailbone back. This is your cow. So now tuck your tailbone, round your back, round your spine. Palms out, that's the cat. Now cow. Tuck your tailbone, round your back, palms out, cat. One more. Cow, cat. And slowly stand up. Upward salute. And then release your hands along your side. And just relax. Relax the whole body. Your mountain. Just relax. It seems like sometimes the slower we move, the tinier little micro movements that we make, it's almost as hard, at least, as that wild physical aerobic flailing, because your tiny little muscles, those postural muscles, are working for you. So let's do a little balance. So we'll do baby tree. So for baby tree, I'm going to ground on my left, bring my right ankle, or right heel, just in front of my left ankle. That's my kickstand. Bring my hands to heart center. And what I'm going to focus on is two things. Lifting up from above, so that straight line, so not my hip over. A lot of times in tree, we push ourselves over and the hip comes over. We want to be as vertical as we can, at the same time open as we can. So when you're ready, pick a point that's not moving. Pick your drishti, lift your kickstand, and just balance. Lifting up from above, something pulling you up and straight, at the same time open. Open. If you lose your balance, just put your kickstand down. Lifting up. Lift, lift, lift. At the same time, open and soft. And then relax, put your kickstand down. Reset. If it's comfortable, maybe shake a little bit. Some tension out of there. To the other side, ground on your right. This time the left heel in front of the right ankle, just right in front. That's your kickstand. Bring your hands to heart center. Once again, imagine lifting straight up. Straightening that hip muscle. When you're ready, lift your kickstand. Open, at the same time lift. Think that straight pull up. So no collapsing, just pulling up and softening out. And then when you're ready, you can put your kickstand down and relax. Now take a moment just to notice that if there's any sensations, because that muscle, that glute medius that holds us up, is really fired up by doing it. But that lifting, rather than just letting it hold the weight, we're actually making it carry the weight, if that makes any sense. So now let's step out into horse pose, but to do that, let's work on a little balance. So I'm going to step to the left first. So I'm going to ground to my right foot. I'm bending my right a lot. I'm just going to ever so slowly step over. Just see if I can touch. And then shift the weight all the way to the left. Now I'm bending a lot on the left. Slowly just leave that. And then ground back down. I'm going to go back to where I came from. Bend a lot. Slowly come over. Just barely set that toe down. And then transfer the weight, all that weight into that foot then. And slowly come over. Strengthens the hips, works on the balance. Not easy to do. Once again, picking the drishti helps with that. So now let's step out into horse pose. We'll do sway head and shake tail. So see if you can tuck your tailbone. I don't know if I can do this without. So tuck your tailbone rather than booty back. Tuck your tailbone. And we'll do sway head, shake tail. So bring your hands to just above your knees. I'm going to go and turn and look back. And you can use this hand to actually push away and help you with that twist. Look back. Now drop the head. We're going to make a big circle. I'm going to sway our head And then we'll come up the other side. This time I'm bracing the other way. Look back and twist. And then we're back. Shake our tail. And then go the other direction. Oh, sway the head. Look back first. Come down. Just ever so gently. Make a nice slow circle. Just bending. Come up the other side. Looking back. And then back to center. And then slowly straighten your legs. Come back up. And we'll heel toe. And by that I mean really come into knock knee. So an internal rotation of the hips. And then bow-legged. So now an external. An internal. Bow-legged. And then we're back to standing. So let's carry the ball to the side. So once again, we practiced on that. We practiced stepping to the side. Now we're going to add some arms to it, basically. So just step to the side. We'll carry the ball first at shoulder, then at the head. Hips just moving from side to side. This time as we come up, we'll come back, settle and clear. Just soft steps back in. Go to the other side, soft step over. Chest tight. And head high. Just carrying a chi ball. Hips shift from side to side. And come up, soft step back, settle and clear. Other side. Step over, soft. Just carrying that chi ball. Hip shift from side to side. Then head height. As we get up to the top, bring it down, step back in, settle and clear. Other side, step over. Just like you're almost moving in heavy air, or fog, or water. Just slow. Come up, step in, soft, settle and clear. Do one more on each side. Step over. Just really soft. Hip shift from side to side. Bring it up. Settle and clear. You guys are doing great. And the last side, step over. Soft steps. And then to head height. And then bring it up above. Step in soft. And settle and clear. And step wider than shoulder width and turn a big ball. So bring your arms out. And we'll turn the big ball. So the bottom hand and the hip go in the same direction. The top hand goes in the opposite direction. You're stuck in the middle. And then we'll just turn that big ball, just like it's a big ball. We'll turn it the other direction. Bottom hand and hip go over, top hand in the opposite direction. Turn the big ball. Come back to neutral when you're doing it. Sink and turn. See if you can do it just as a side bend, not so much a forward bend. It's tempting to want to get lower and further. Let's see if you can just do it from the side. And we'll come back. Do one more on each side. This moves a lot of chi. Also moves a lot of areas of the part of the body that you forgot you had, let's just say, probably since you were a child. Oh, and then back to center. And then relax. Release your arms down. Again, heel toe back to shoulder width. So boy, now let's just move gently and softly. We're going to do a hip slide to set up, and then we'll grind some tofu. So first, step out with the left foot. We want to orient our hips. Our belt buckle, our navel faces that left. Then as our hips are almost just on this slide, forward and backward. As your weight comes back, your front toes come up. As the weight goes forward, back heel comes up. Then you can add the hands. So we're just grinding soybeans to make tofu in a large granite wheel. The hub of the wheel is over the left knee. We're just moving a huge granite stone. Slowly shuttling the hips forward and backward. Once again, these little postural muscles. If we work them before to put some strain on, to build some strength, now we're just like integrating them to bring some stability, some mobility back in. So one more round, and then we'll step back. Then bring your hands down, settle and clear. We'll step out with the right. Once again, take just a moment to get that shuttle going in your hips. That it's not a rocking per se, it's just this, like your hips are on a rail, forward and backward. Weight transfer, using those calf muscles. Then you can add the hands to the grind the soybeans for the tofu. But moving those calves, pumps, lymph, up through, helps fight that edema that we sometimes encounter. Too much sitting or too much standing for long periods. So it's a way to use the muscles themselves in the back of the calf. Pump that lymph fluid back up. Or you can do legs up the wall. Sometimes that's really nice too. Probably easier, but okay, one more and then we'll step back and clear. So step back, really gently, softly, and just clear. So let's, one last and then we'll work our way into Shavasana. So let's gather and pull the horizon. So arms out, palms down. And then just expand out. As you come back in, turn your palms up, fingertips forward, almost like a cat back, dome back. And then pull towards your shoulders. And then we'll push away. So inhale out. Exhale back. Inhale towards your shoulders. Exhale, push away. Inhale out. Exhale back. Inhale towards your shoulders. Push away. You may notice a sensation of rocking, or swaying, I should say, just forward and backward. That's good, that's great. Just subtle weight shifts to the, maybe towards your toes or towards your heels. Just that subtle swaying. Just inhale, opening. Exhale, closing. Inhale towards the shoulders. Exhale, pushing away. Do one more. Inhale out, opening up. Exhale, come back. Now pull towards your shoulders. And you release your arms down. Just relax, settling and clearing. You take a moment just to relax the body. And then we'll transition. Whether it's lying on a mat, a new mat, or an old mat, or in a chair, whatever. Get comfortable. However Shavasana is best for you, and we'll just relax. Shavasana is used for integration after some hot classes, maybe recovery, but it's used to integrate, to bring in the sensations that the body has felt, and the brain is processing, just integrate those back in. Reach a state of comfort and ease. Try to reach that parasympathetic state where it's rest and digest. So if you're comfortable, that could be legs wide, that could be soles of the feet to the mat, it could be your arms at your side, it could be one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, your arms above, whatever's comfortable. Or you could be seated. Just notice your breath. We'll do a short pranayama after Shavasana. Notice your breath right now. Inhales, your belly rises. Exhale, the belly returns. Just releasing. Inhale, soft. Exhale, soft. Inhale, slow. Exhale, slow. Inhale, smooth. And transitioning, exhale, smooth. I'll be quiet for just a couple of minutes and then we'll do a short pranayama. Now slowly notice your breath again. Bring awareness to your inhale. Bring awareness to your exhale. Give thanks and gratitude for your breath, that thing that connects us to life, for that thing that we can control, or just release control. Now slowly bring the soles, if you're lying down, bring the soles of your feet to the mat, your arms overhead. If you're in a chair, go ahead and just remain comfortable. Push your way up to a comfortable seat. And continuing with our breath, we'll move at a pace that's can lead us more towards heart rate variability that's conducive to balancing our parasympathetic and our sympathetic autonomic nervous system. In other words, neither fight nor flight, nor rest and digest, just balanced in harmony. So to do that, we'll try to aim towards 5.5 breaths a minute, which matches somewhat this cadence of I am breathing in, I am breathing out. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Just slow through the nose. That gentle cadence. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Just soft. And if it's uncomfortable and it doesn't fit your pace today or where your body's at or where your mind's at this moment, that's okay. That's okay. Just know that you can come back to that soft cadence and a reminder, I am breathing in, I am breathing out. At any time, you just need to bring a little peace and calm. So with that, let's bring our hands together, rub them together, gather a little bit of heat, chi and prana. Bring our thumbs to our third eye. May we think more clearly. To our lips or chin, so we may speak more clearly. And to our heart, so we may feel more clearly. Thank you so much for joining me for practice. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, and joyful day.